Gotham fans, this time last week, we were debating on whether someone was alive or dead, and I think it's kind of the case again. Come on with us.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yep. They're gonna karaoke. They're gonna. That's.
This song
We're doing that.
is not the right song to play right now.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV's coverage of Gotham Season 4, Episode 21. I'm your host, Steve Kaufmann, here with Zack Peters, Joelle Monique, Karla Beltran. I'm going to officially put the spoiler alert right here. If you're looking for Gotham Season 4, Episode 21, this is not the place. We are talking about Gotham Season 4, Episode 21. So if you don't want spoilers, stop watching right now. Stop listening right now. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, Selena Kyle.
Selena Kyle.
It's gonna be fine.
Selena Kyle.
Don't say that. Don't. I'm
No way.
Joelle,
she
I'm
is
shook right now,
dying.
and you're like holding
Yeah.
my shook body.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me
Not
shake.
happening. I refuse.
Let me shake.
I mean, it's first of all, it can't happen. Maybe it could happen because she's technically supposed to have 9 lives because she's a cat. But this episode was just so heavy. Like first we started with thinking Jim wasn't alive. Okay,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was heavy. And then we think Alfred has gone mad. That was extremely heavy. And then Selena Kyle, like all these 3 good people. So like that's not fair.
It does a lot for you.
No one dies in Gotham. However,
No one
this
dies.
was a sudden turn.
Sure, not expecting it. It's like when Lee whipped out the hammer, and I was like, "What is happening? It's different now."
Because this whole episode was a fairly encapsulated episode in the sense of like, oh, it's real good, but like we're gonna wind up back at 1
Yeah.
at the end of this episode, and then aside from the Jeremiah Ra's al Ghul stuff that we'll get to, like everything else pretty much comes back to 1, except for oh wait, we're gonna stab Selena Kyle and she might not make it. We can tell from the previews that she didn't die in that room,
She doesn't.
and she's conscious she's conscious at a hospital later.
Like, I want to know how this finale is going to play out. Because, like, last week was good. And then this week was even better. And, like, I want to know, like, they better kill it on the finale or else I'm not watching anymore. But I
That's
think
not
they're
true.
going to kill it. Yeah, that's not true. But I think they're going to bring it.
They're definitely gonna.
I just want to know
They're literally
how.
bringing
like,
it
who's
like
gonna
little
die?
by little. I'm just like,
Somebody's going to die.
Jeremiah, okay.
Somebody is
I
going
just
to
want
die.
to say Jeremiah can't die. We just got our Joker. Please
I don't think Jeremiah
kill
will
Jeremiah.
die. No, they're gonna give us like not a spoiler, a plot twist kill.
Yeah,
You-
absolutely.
actually-
And it's gonna be Bullock.
Now that I'm thinking about it,
Whoa!
It's gonna be Bullock. It makes the most
Throwing
sense.
that
Bullock
out
started
there.
off this whole season. He was like, "Look, I don't even know if I want to be a cop.
Yes, and
I'm
he's
drinking."
finally reached his triumphant like.
Everybody who's come
moment.
full circle this
Yeah.
season. We've had
And now
Alfred
it's-
came full circle this season. We had Bruce come full circle. We had Selena Kyle. So now it's time.
I can subscribe to that.
He could come full circle and not die.
Yeah,
He could retire
I don't
as a
think
cop.
anyone's legitimately
like
gonna
people
die,
with
but I
that
do think
character.
he's going to be like shot in the stomach or like captured. Something's gonna happen to our beloved Bullock at the end, and we're gonna have to wait an entire season to find out what has happened.
Okay, so let's jump into the House of Horrors that was Lil Wayne's Scarecrow business. It was
that was
fun.
scary.
It was scary. It was fun. The second you know it's Scarecrow, you have to assume everything you see is a lie.
Right.
True.
Which they did a good job of holding off on Scarecrow. And correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I love him with the sickle, and I think this is the first time we've seen him with that sickle on Gotham. Judges?
No, I think when he first appears and we're learning about his dad, we see the sickle. I could be wrong.
Someone
Because
will let
I
us
vaguely
know.
remember
I
seeing
think
it.
he's used it before. I think after they got out of when they were escaping from Arkham, I think he has it there already.
This is certainly a more refined overall look for Scarecrow, though.
Yeah.
It's much closer to like a comic book presentation, which is really exciting, as we've seen with all of our characters throughout this season.
Yeah, my only issue with Scarecrow this whole series is that he's been the mid-level boss, if you will. Like, he's not the level boss. He's never the level boss. He's always...
not even mid-level. He's like bottom tier.
No, I think...
He hasn't really. I mean, this
hasn't
is the
really done
first time
anything,
he's
yeah.
really. Yeah, Carla is with me, and
he
we don't
hasn't
always
really-
agree.
First of all, he hasn't really done anything, and in this episode, he got beat by a woman.
Oh.
So there's shame in
Maybe
being,
No,
he,
there's
maybe
not
he
shame
likes
in
that.
that, no.
Maybe he likes getting beat by a woman.
Oh,
no
Well, he got
judgment.
beat by Selena or by a young girl.
I know, but she has a whip. Maybe he's into it.
Also, Selena's very advanced. She runs only with people in their 30s or 40s. She's like one of those weird teens where you're like, oh, you like just were born an adult. Yeah, I don't think that. I feel like I agree with Steven though. I don't think that I think he's been a mid-level guy, especially all the stuff that happened immediately after his dad, when we're seeing him like reawaken Bruce's fears of his parents, and he gets to deal with
For
that
like
for
a
like.
moment, and then he's disappeared.
but
Like
people
we really haven't seen it.
But what I'm saying is he never does that on its own. Like that's never his standalone plan. That he's always co-opted by someone. I feel the same way about Freeze.
I was just gonna say,
Freeze is another
exactly.
one where it's like, yo, you're like a front page,
You're
but
pretty
you're
badass.
Like you're a front page, ready-made comic book villain, and
Although
you're
this-
somehow being controlled by Penguin or Enigma or.
Do you want to see more versions of this Freeze though? I would need them to do like not like a full reboot like they did with Ivy, but like an advancement like we've seen with like the different versions of the Joker. I need to see like an elevated or just a better
But
Freeze.
the person can change, like, and this is
Yeah,
something
that's
that
what I
never
mean, yeah.
happens in comic books. But like, you could do it where just Freeze changes and goes, you know what? I'm tired of doing the bidding of others. I'm gonna take over, like, and then
It's time to make Gotham ice.
yeah, and then he takes a couple episodes for himself.
Totally.
And like
That'd
that
be so awesome.
character can grow to do that.
I
That's
can
a lot
see
of
that.
money in special effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't blame the writer. Some producer is like writers. No.
No,
Pen down.
we bring him in. He's an ex machina for the characters.
So too much money on special effects. We don't have that money for Snow.
Yeah, we have a lot of like big power players, but none of them have actually stepped up. Like we see Barbara and Penguin, and these are the ones that are constantly trying to like roll the underwear, and they're just like bad people. They're not like real superhero villains.
Yeah.
Silver Watcher 30 in the chat just said Mad Hatter as well. Mad Hatter.
Oh yeah, the Mad Hatter was awesome.
But Mad Hatter had his like two separate full arcs, didn't he?
He had full arcs, but he was manipulated in each of those arcs. Like, the Tetch virus didn't get released because Tetch wanted the virus released. Like, other people jumped on board to make the Tetch virus get released.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Like,
Wait.
I would argue he's a
happened to
level
Tetch?
boss, not a game boss. But
Yes, okay, I'll give you that.
I don't
Tetch is-
know why I'm blanking, but what happened to him?
He was in Arkham, then got out of Arkham. I don't think he
Yeah,
ever
and
died,
then we
though.
haven't really seen him. He was palling
disappeared.
around with Jerome for a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay,
hypnotizing
okay.
the people.
After Jerome was killed, he disappeared.
It was
Yeah.
We
before
haven't
that.
He
seen
like
him-
remember he hypnotized the whole town, and they created that distraction for Jerome.
where they were on the roofs.
Yeah.
And they were gonna
gonna
dive.
jump.
And yeah, we just haven't seen him since that episode.
But did he die?
And he didn't
He
die.
didn't
No.
die. No. That's why I was
He
wondering.
just
I was
disappeared.
Like, wait, I think he disappeared.
Although he got captured at the end of
you
that, right?
guys,
Yeah.
What if he hooks up with Jeremiah and they come back together for the season finale?
I'd be okay with it, I
That
guess.
would be interesting.
I love Tetch, specifically this version of Tetch is really fascinating and like a nice quirky kind of mad.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of fascination and love, Carla, I think you have something to talk
I
to us
do.
about.
I want to tell you guys something about having fun. And if you want to have fun, learn and grow in all areas of your life, for those who do, we have a podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos. Podcast edition is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life, from health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more. Let our Maria be the big sister you've always wanted. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know that it was us, Gotham, who sent you there. Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition. Check it out.
Yes.
Yes,
Let her
do
know
it.
in the reviews and the comments and all the things that it was the Gotham panel that sent you.
You know what? Just tell her Zach sent you.
Whoa.
But don't say-
Shiesty.
At Just Plain Zach, that's my handle. Let her know, and then tell her to follow me.
She doesn't follow you?
JK. But listen to Conversations with Maria Menounos.
So
It's
let's
really
talk
good.
about the big bad here, the bombs. The bombs that are also batteries that
The brain.
that he somehow that Jeremiah somehow developed at Wayne R&D last week.
Yeah, in a very short time.
In a very short time, they like had a ship date. They went from like concept to in every building in Gotham, like almost instantaneously. There must be
Even
no,
after we knew that Jeremiah had made the turn for the worse.
Yeah.
there must be no regulation in Gotham.
You think everything so far we've learned is regulated through Bruce's company, so this is a giant oversight.
Well, but that actually makes sense. That if Bruce funds you, you can get a product in every home in Gotham
That it does make sense.
very fast.
Bruce should have like his own Shark Tank, like Gotham version.
I would watch that.
I would watch the hell out of that because mostly it's going to be super villains.
Yeah, it's all villains, and they're gonna come with their ideas.
Who's the panel and who's the host?
Alfred, because he's very discerning. He's going to be style. He knows how to handle money. Oh my God, who would our final?
Selena.
Barbara?
No.
No, Barbara would
Selena.
be a pitcher. Barbara would be. No, I actually.
Barbara
I'm
would be
with
like
you.
having John Taffer. She runs a bar.
Barbara would be on the panel so that she knows who to invest in
Okay,
to help
and then
her
the
rule
toy
Gotham.
man will be the last one because he knows that whole industry, sales, distribution, and he builds his own toys. So
Yeah,
he's
and
going to
you need
know
bit
how to
of
pick a
curveball.
winner.
So is
Yeah.
Bruce. I think Bruce is the host, though.
Oh,
I think,
totally.
I think Bruce Wayne is the host, and he's like, I picked 4 entrepreneurs as my sharks.
Can we just pick from the DC universe? Because Lex Luthor would probably have to come in here and be our one bald guy on the panel.
I'm sure. Yeah, that would be the one non-canonical. Because I think we're pitching a sketch right now that we can
Yeah.
make this.
Yeah.
That everyone can
Totally.
be within the universe of Gotham except for Lex Luthor. Like, you just get Lex Luthor at the 4th chair.
I love it.
Just like, I love it. I'm not going to give you any money, though.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea. Good luck, kid.
Good luck. Good luck, kid.
And
But
they'll all be fighting for like who gets the keys to Gotham.
there's no kryptonium or land. So I'm out.
He's just a real estate mogul.
I'm just a Midwest huckster, real estate mogul.
I love this sketch. It's good.
We wrote the sketch in the room. I thought it was great. I thought we get this moment with Bullock that they did a good job of bringing back, that the police force doesn't really stand by him.
I mean,
Should
can you blame
they?
them?
No, they shouldn't. Like, but he gets to dismantle the bomb. He gets to disarm the bomb and regain the faith of the force.
Because he was elected, just because he happened to fall into that situation.
No, he said he wanted to go, that he needed to do
that he needed that. Because
He was like in pursuit, but he didn't intend to actually find the bomb and have to
no,
disarm
he
it on the
absolutely
spot.
intended that.
Yeah, that's what he
Did he?
wanted. Well, he didn't necessarily thought that he was going to be the one disarming it, but he wanted to be there when the mission was happening.
Yes.
And then it just so happened that he had to be the one to disarm it, which I thought was great. I think it's
Which
something
is
that
why
he
he's
needed.
going to die next week.
Wow.
Okay, Joelle.
I'm just saying. Look, the police force
with
loves
you.
him again. He's coming again. It's just that full circle
Jim,
thing.
Alfred, Selena, Bullock. That's just way too many.
It'll be interesting to see. I like that Bullock. To me, again, if we look at his journey throughout this season, it's interesting to see him be like, I want to be a cop again. Like, I want to be in there. Jim literally had to like pull him out of his like drunken stupor and be like, look, you need to help me. We have things to do.
Yes.
So yeah, and it's nice to see him be like, 3 cheers for Bullock again, and like the whole team's behind him. I'll be interested to see how this affects his and Jim's relationship. If it does, if nothing happens to him next week and we get into next season, I think they're gonna have strong differences of opinions on how to run the police force. Because right now they're doing a lot of like cleanup and task management and just kind of going from one disaster to the next. But Jim's got an entire police force to run, and I think especially once we look at next season, it's gonna be like a new Gotham, and how is Jim running this police force? And I bet they start butting heads on that.
That would be great. Trying to think what else.
I feel like they'll be able to work through it because they're like a big brother and little brother.
For a super complicated bomb plot, they did a good job of separating it across 3 different plot lines. That it didn't. None of it felt forced. Everything moved forward, but like we kept seeing everybody different, working at it at a different angle.
Right.
So like I'm looking at like, oh, we're at the main one. We're actually covering it. We're covering this portion of it very well. No one here thought Jim died, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then there's.
I just wasn't sure how he made it out.
They haven't, and that's a mystery still,
no,
right?
they didn't cover that.
No, they did. They said
Did
that that
No, they
No, they
just found him
Yeah, they said
outside of
Enigma,
the building.
Yeah, Enigma found him outside the bunker.
well they
He
took
had-
him.
No,
Nick-
Enigma,
remember?
Enigma had Jim followed.
Yes.
But they didn't take him out of the building. Jim still made it out of the building.
He made it out
and
of the
then
building
far
and
enough,
they took him.
No, but
Right,
somebody.
but how did he get out of the building?
Yeah.
So we last saw
The
him. Echo
question is,
had
how did
locked
he
him
get
into
out of the
that
building?
room.
Well, no,
and then
we
Because
saw
he's
him
been
unlock
through
the
the
door.
mines before. Yeah, he ran
jimmied
out of the
desk.
door.
He jimmied the desk and walked out the door. The only reason I'm speculating is that there was a moment where it's like, Jim, you're alive, and he's like, it's been crazy. Like I just can't even. Just can't
I'm
even
sure
tell
he
you.
just found his way out of the maze because he's been in there before. Like, he knew how to get in, so I'm sure he knew how to get out.
Well, people make it out of
I
the
don't
mazes so
remember
easily.
him jimmying the lock even, but okay.
He hit the button under the desk, and then the door opened, and he
And
ran out.
remember he
But
takes
he
the
had like
plans?
seconds to like get out the room.
Well, he had seconds to get like a mile away from a bomb.
Right.
Wait, but if they were like, if he ran out and they were there outside, like trying to get in to get him, he could have been like, oh my gosh, there's a bomb about to go out, and like they take him, knock him out, they take him, or like something
To
happens.
Steve's original point, we don't get any of that
Yeah, we-
information though.
we don't know how
They're
it
like,
happens.
just take that leap with us. He's fine.
Or there's more to tell, and they'll tell it next week. Or
Also
even
fair.
further, like I think some people are saying a trap door. Andrew Gibbons in the chat says he found a trap door.
How did Enigma find him in the trapdoor?
That's very Looney Tunes, but I'm not against it.
I'm not against it either, but like I feel like we're gonna get some type of flashback next week.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think
We don't
so.
usually
I honestly,
get flashbacks
guys,
in this
Yeah,
I
we
think that's
don't
just-
usually get context when we want it. It's more of just like, okay, we're rushing
And
over
we're
this
good.
piece and we're going.
Speaking
Jim's
of context, when we want it. Do you want to know how you can get context on search optimization on things like this after show, let's say?
I do.
How?
iTunes.
Oh my
iTunes.
god.
So if you're listening to my voice through iTunes,
Yes.
you can go and leave us a 5-star review.
5 stars.
Any of the other stars, there's a glitch. It deletes all the contacts in your phone.
Yeah.
If you,
Don't do
if you
that.
give us 4 or less stars, it will delete all the contacts in your phone. So don't do that. Give us a 5-star review. Specifically note why you like this show. It'll really help us optimize this show so more people can listen to it, so we can be the focal point of the Gotham community. Also, if you're listening or watching our faces, that makes sense. That sentence made more sense in my mind. Please be sure to give the thumbs up, like, rate, subscribe, share on Twitter. I just tweeted the link. You can retweet that link.
Comment.
Comment. Yeah, comments are important too. All the important.
Yeah, tell us why you love the show. Zack Peter.
So great. Let's jump into this penguin business. Penguin.
Penguin, but okay, what was that fight?
Fudge.
Like, I was very disappointed by this fight, you guys.
In what aspect? In the physical aspect of it, and the fact that they were fighting. Period.
The fact that there was no fight with Jeremiah. They were just fighting with like a bunch of like lunatics, and the fact that like they thought they had the upper hand, and like how do they show up with just like handguns? There wasn't like I actually thought there was
they
going
didn't
to be
just
like
show
a
up with
real
handguns. They
fight.
showed up with the guy with the bomb in his mouth.
And the League of and like they had a couple of female assassins too.
I mean, they did, but still, like it just
They had a small army. They weren't expecting Jeremiah to be like Jeremiah at all, which is
as
weird.
ahead as he was.
It's especially weird considering that the GCPD got taken, like, overrun by hundreds of people just last episode. So it's like, you understand that he has a huge following.
Yeah.
Like, there are a whole bunch of citizens dedicated to being, like, Joker followers. So to not be more prepared was kind of upsetting. But I also feel like it says a lot about the kind of power Penguin thinks he wields or has behind him. And I think we'll see a much larger army next week, because now we're sort of seeing a division between like our villains who are here just for the chaos or just for the murder versus the ones who are like, I'm trying to earn a living in this city criminally and you need to get on board. Like, this is not working. Like, Penguin was trying to hand out vouchers before and be like, you can commit a crime between these hours if you follow the rules. And so I think that we're going to see him trying to do more of that next week, squash this, uprising that's happening, and maybe try to take either more power, if it's not at least some of the more straight and narrow villains.
I have a question for you guys. I feel like Penguin, ever since the Martine thing happened, has been very like soft. I feel like I haven't seen him kill anybody in a long time. Is that going to change next episode?
I don't know
I
if we're
miss
back
him
there
being
just yet.
like, I miss him being that intense and like just breaking hands and doing things.
He was stripped of all of his power, and so I think we're seeing him sort of begin to rise back up and get at a level of comfort. I want to see a club Penguin again. Like, go back to your
Yes.
club. Let's see what's happening. We can't. Wait, that's not around anymore, right? Did the girls
No,
take
the
that
Barbara
over?
has that.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay, but I would like to see him again get back into that business. I kind of miss the days when the clubs were just shooting. It's like, the club is better this week.
I would actually like the idea of him trying to have a competing club with Barbara.
Yes,
But
that's what I'm
that'd be
saying.
awesome.
But that feels like small potatoes for both of them.
Yeah.
I will point out, just because we don't have anywhere else to point it out, hashtag Gotham Spray Tan.
Oh,
Shout out-
yes.
Shout out to Eric Olin.
Yes.
He was first. Also, Queen of Regal. Hashtag Gotham Spray Tan. It's a thing. We're trying to make it a thing. We should have had a hashtag ready to go tonight.
I know.
But we will. We will. One of us will tweet it.
You were saying do you want to use the ship one? Cat Bat?
Oh, Bat Cat?
Yeah.
Wait, but
Bat Cat,
that's
that's
already
the ship.
trending.
Gotham
Is it,
Bat
though?
Cat. We'll make it
Gotham
unique.
Bat.
Hashtag us with Gotham Bat Cat.
Gotham
I want
Bat
to see
Cat.
the things.
'Cause they
that was
kissed
great.
today.
They did. And not only kissed, but we got like true professions of love.
I know, right before she got shot.
That she'll always be there for him.
Also, Thomas
I
Lee.
mean, unless she dies.
Thomas
She's
Lee
not gonna die.
in the
She's
chat
Catwoman.
asked, "How did the rocket/grenade launcher get there again?" I got them.
Okay, it's Gotham. We don't ask questions. Here.
Yeah.
He also rolled up Squad Deep. Like, that's not too hard to think that Jeremiah rolled up Squad Deep with his cult. I say cult because that's what the subtitles said. The subtitles said when they were all screaming at once, "Cultists." That's canon.
Cultists.
Subtitles are canon, y'all. But that would be my that would be my answer. That one of them rolls up with a rocket launcher in case he needs a rocket launcher. How are we feeling about this Butch Tabitha business?
I like it.
I don't know how I feel about Solomon Grundy Butch. I don't understand the personality anymore. I feel like maybe we came out of the Grundy state too quickly, or that the transition from Grundy to this Butch, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. He's so kind of hostile, but also still kind of soft. It's just a very weird combination of emotions, and I miss no-handed Butch, or a Butch who was just a bodyguard who loved a woman. Like,
we were
I
talking-
miss simpler times, Butch.
We were talking last week that I think part of why this isn't ringing true for us is that his stakes aren't clear.
Yes.
Because
Right.
it's other, like, and that's where hashtag Gotham Spray Tan came from. It's that, as far as we can tell, he's silver.
Yeah.
As far as we can tell, like, he's silver and green on the inside. And it's, like, simple things where it's, like, I don't feel. Like, that would make sense to me if he was like, I just need to feel like a human again. I'm not able to feel. I need that. Like, he's
But
cursed.
he's still in love with Tabitha, and we could totally tell.
And like,
But
but
she's
like,
into him.
but Tabitha would,
And she's gonna love him no matter what he looks like, because she loves him.
and like, I don't know. I think he's gonna go all the way to Strange to realize that, like
Like the
what
Wizard of Oz.
happiness was inside him all along.
Like the Wizard of Oz. He's
But
gonna
we
go to
get-
Strange, and Strange's gonna be like, everything's already inside you.
BD Wong's day rate is really, really expensive to just be able to tell someone happiness is from within.
Yeah.
That dude is expensive.
Yeah. Strange is probably gonna tell him, like, you're a masterpiece. Why would you want to change?
Also, I don't have the cure.
Yeah, I
By
didn't
the way,
mean
none
you,
of you.
sir.
By the way, none of you have sussed out this logic.
Yeah.
How
That's
could I
true.
possibly cure you?
Well, because it was sludge. It wasn't like
Yeah, like if I dump coffee in a storm drain outside of my house and then a fish grows 7 limbs, I can't help you.
No,
Yeah.
I
dumped-
was just irresponsible.
like you caused it, but it's not
Like,
like
if-
you can fix
If I
it.
invited you
Yeah.
into my home for coffee I made and I'm also a chemist, you have reason to believe I could help you. I dumped coffee into trash, and you were in a place with trash.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're also happiness is from within.
Yeah.
That will be an $80,000 day rate.
Bring back stakes for him. I need him to be up against something,
He's
something
hungry.
against him, literally anything other. And I don't like his dynamic with Penguin. It's just not really working for me. It doesn't
felt
have
like
that Enigma Penguin like.
It felt like a holding pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like that's where they needed to put him to get him back with because now it looks like Tabitha, Butch, Penguin are all gonna go,
And Barbara.
and Barbara are all gonna move on to Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then I think we can all see the writing on the walls that Strange is either going to have have a really complicated way of doing it, and then they're gonna have to leverage him to make him do it, or he's gonna lie about having it, and then well, happiness is from within. And we kind of know that. That story's been told on this show a lot of times.
Do you guys think we'll actually get to see that next episode?
No.
See Strange next episode? Mm-hmm. I think so.
It's the season finale, and that's kind of the whole thing Butch and Penguin have been on for a while. So I'd be kind of disappointed if we didn't either get to his space or call him. We should get very close or see Strange next week.
I've been looking to be sure because next week will be episode 22. It's not out of the ordinary for this show to go 23 episodes.
Sure.
The trailer we saw didn't specifically
It said
say.
finale.
I think it said
Oh,
season
it-
finale.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
then
we'll
never
get it
mind.
again.
Then never mind. Next week is totally the season finale. 22 is how it works. So speaking of
It's already
finales,
coming to an end.
Jeremiah and his cult.
I know.
we're in a bunker. And then the bombs didn't blow up. The bombs didn't blow up.
Because bullets
And
saved
he
the
didn't
day.
kill Jim Gordon.
And he didn't kill Jim Gordon.
And the cult tried to turn on Jeremiah, who seemed really, really, really prepared for this. Because he went through the door, hit a purge button, and they all died.
This doesn't surprise me, especially because it's my biggest pet peeve of any of the Batman things I've ever... Not really the biggest. Look, I really love The Dark Knight. It's such a good movie, but let's be honest, there's no way the Joker doesn't have a backup plan to blow up both boats.
Yeah.
There's no reason that he's just like, it'll be you, and you'll have to pick. No, the Joker would then be like, psych, now they both blow up, you should have picked one, and laughed his merry ass home. So to see like that he had a backup plan here, I feel like this maybe is the writers being like, our Joker has a backup plan. He's prepared.
But it's a crazy backup plan.
Why? Because he didn't
It's
need
not
any of those
crazy they
people.
were going against him.
Well, let me
so
rephrase
I
it, but
think
like
it's totally normal. for him to do
insane
that.
in the in the lack of value in human life, or like it's a villain's backup plan of
Yes.
like let's get 20 followers and set up a bunker, and then we're gonna rebuild Gotham. Oh crap, that plan didn't work. Let me close the door and hit the button that kills all 20 followers.
But the only reason why he was killing the followers because they were going against him.
Right, but then
I
you'd
mean,
have to
can you
assume that
blame
they
them,
would
though?
turn against you. But I think that Jeremiah has been watching Jerome do this for a long time. I think Jerome's had 4 major setups where he calls his followers out to come get Bruce or whatever. And each time his followers kind of go wonky at the end. Whether they're like, yes, we love you, but now we have a crazy bloodlust. Or like, they're just unpredictable. They crave chaos. So it makes sense to me to have like a delete
A
button.
backup plan, yeah, to get rid of
To
them
be
when
like,
you're done
that
with
didn't
them.
work, delete.
And not only that, but I feel like referring back to the Dark Knight, the Joker always works alone anyway. Like even when he hires the other people to
True.
Yeah, he's always
to get
one
the
step ahead.
bank,
Work
to
your
rob the
Batman
bank,
knowledge,
then
yes.
he starts like killing them. Like once they're like, oh yeah, like oh the guy, blah blah blah.
With the
and then
pool
he
cue
says,
scene. Yeah, he does not
starts-
value human life.
No, so he just starts killing everybody. So I didn't find it very surprising. I was like actually hoping that something like that would happen.
Hashtag henchman furnace is what Eric in the chat said.
Wow.
I'm about it.
Wow.
Hashtag hashtag henchman furnace.
Wow. Yeah, that's so
Okay.
Let's end on Gordon Lee Nigma Narrows.
Oh, Lee.
Oh,
Very
Gordon.
complicated.
Oh,
I
Enigma.
saw,
We have mixed
I saw
feelings.
this coming. She's not into him. I mean, am I the only one? Like, come on, I'm not.
No, she's not into him.
It's
Even
a
though-
friendship
Even though I
love.
shipped it.
You ship every couple that talks to each other.
You shipped Alfred and Tabitha at one point.
You're a
Yeah.
professional lighthouse and you can embrace it. That's okay.
I can.
You're bringing
I just
all your
see
ships
love,
to shore.
I just see love everywhere, you guys. And I was really hoping that Lee and Enigma could like have a short amount of love together.
No, she's
But-
way too advanced for him.
We saw it when she went to care for him last week, and she was just like, I'm just going to pet your hair. You're like a cute puppy, and I'm glad that you're safe. And I was like, oh, that's not romantic love.
No,
No, it's more of like a caring.
she's using him. But he said
But
that
what is
she's
she
in love
using
with
him
him
for?
in every way. He made that clear to Jim Gordon.
He did.
That's how
I don't
he-
know if I believe
That's what
that,
he
though.
says.
That's what he said.
but
He seemed very.
Do we think Lee, where she is right now, has the capacity for like
No,
teddy bear romantic love
no.
anymore? Like
yes.
how it's
No,
worked out the
she's
last two
too-
times?
No,
Yes.
she's way too focused on, like, she has a purpose, she has a mission, she's more than just the doctor putting a band-aid on your knee. Like, now she has what she's been looking for, and that's a purpose. She doesn't need no man.
If I don't, she certainly does not need a man. No, she would survive and do well on her own if that was what she wanted. Does she crave a teddy bear romance? I don't think so. But I think if one was offered to her, or if she started to feel those, I think there's capacity within her to have those feelings. And I just say that based off of every villain ever at some point falling in love with someone super hard and then getting betrayed and then going more evil. That's just a pattern. It's just like
Fair.
as she moves into supervillain status, as she starts, or chaotic neutral, where she's like, look, whatever happens, like, I'm gonna make sure that people are okay. I will put people before systems or even before myself. That's what I want to do. I think that there's capacity for it. Do I think it will happen? Not tomorrow, not in next week's episode, but maybe down the line.
Okay.
Is next week's episode 2 hours or just one?
Ooh, that's a good
One.
question.
Feels like it's one, yeah. They would, if it were a 2-hour episode, they would go out of their way to make it 2 separate episodes. Because syndication, though. That's, Everybody just trying to make it to 100 episodes. Get that Rick and Morty money. I'm kidding.
70 episodes.
How do you get rid of this?
I don't know. We can't talk about it here, but wow, it's just amazing.
The mere statement that Rick and Morty got 70 episodes today is on conversation, is on topic. We can't go further than that.
Yeah.
Until we're done here. So let's get done here. Let's do predictions.
Yes.
AfterBuzz TV prediction.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So, Selena, alive or dead?
Alive.
Cool.
Someone made the comparison to Barbara Gordon at the end of Killing Joke, and that she was kind of filling that role here. So maybe she will be disabled, which I think would be an interesting twist or turn for her. If they wanted to go the Barbara Gordon route, I don't know. I wouldn't. I think it would be really cool if we had like an Oracle in this world, especially now that we're getting full into our supervillain statuses. For those of you who don't know, Barbara Gordon, who was Batgirl in the Batman universe, gets shot by the Joker, severs her spine. She becomes paralyzed from the waist down, so she's wheelchair bound, but she learns to fight with, oh god, I don't know the technical terms, but there's two long sticks, kind of like the Daredevil. Very cool. And then she also becomes his like eyes in the sky, essentially. So she's able to crack into all the computers and cameras around the city. She like sends them on assignment. If there's like a big police thing, she alerts Batman. It would be cool to see like a young Selena Kyle and Batman like starting to work together and build that kind of crime-fighting relationship, which we've seen them do little bits here and there. I don't know if that will happen, but I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Jeremiah, he die next week?
No,
Maybe.
but he will disappear.
Maybe, but the thing is that Raj is on his side, so Raj can bring him back to life anytime.
Ooh,
I don't think he's gonna die.
Gotham, does it burn?
Yes.
No.
Ooh.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes. Part of Gotham burns. We see that the
It
bridges
starts to burn, but it doesn't come to
No,
full.
I'm not saying like you burn the whole. I think the Narrows burns. I think they burn the I think
That makes a lot of sense.
that they specifically burn the Narrows down, and that Lee, and in a way where Lee can feel betrayed by
and angry.
everyone.
It'll be especially delicious because
and
they burned all the
Ed-
paperwork for all the buildings. So
Yeah.
now it's open land.
And Ed will be part of the Narrows burning down if they do burn, because he's upset and he's heartbroken, and we know he acts irrationally out of spite when he's heartbroken.
Okay. I was thinking more just Lee by herself, that I think that would be something that would bring about class warfare on all of Gotham, is if the Narrows burn and Lee survives. Because then Lee can pretty much be the voice of the Narrows, but not live in the Narrows.
I don't think that will happen, but
That seems like a good path. I don't know.
I see that happening. Potentially.
Bullock, stay a cop next week?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but he's gonna die.
Wow.
I
So he's
really
gonna
think-
die a cop?
If he's not gonna die, he's going to get very badly
You
injured.
die a hero or you live long enough to become a villain.
Zach said it.
I think he
Where have I heard that
he
from?
retires next week. Wow. All right.
It's from Batman. It's okay.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that is
It's
from
okay.
That's
That
from the
didn't-
dark.
I was
It's
gonna
from the
push-
Dark Knight.
I was
Oh
gonna
my gosh, I was like, I know that quote.
Anthony,
Where-
let's just cut that clip out.
I was gonna push you through, Carla. I was like, anyway, things. Strange. Dr. Strange, Dr. Hugo Strange, not to be confused with Doctor Strange. Do you think he has a cure for Butch at all?
No.
So he's still at Indian Hill? Or he's not at Indian Hill. Where do we think he is?
Hiding
Penguin knows where he is.
somewhere
hiding
in
somewhere.
the woods, probably creating more creatures.
He's in like a cave somewhere.
I think Penguin was bluffing. I don't even think he knows where he is. Let alone sussing out the logic of whether or not he can actually help.
Interesting. Okay.
So Gordon, does he get promoted by the end of next week? That's what I think.
To captain?
To captain, yes.
Yeah, because he's
Yeah, I mean,
You're
there's
for,
no
like-
other choice. Like, he came back to life.
yes. After Bullock is shot, I think he will become
Wow.
captain. Yeah. No, the story's making more sense the more we talk about it. The more I'm like, yeah, no, this makes sense. Like your partner goes down, right? Takes a knee. You do something heroic or brave in the moment, and now that reward is bittersweet.
Okay. Do you guys have any predictions at large before we head on out of here?
I think Jeremiah has something huge up his sleeve. John Stevens did an
Oh.
interview. He's an EP for the show. Did an interview with IGN where he talks about why they made the switch, and he said for two reasons. One, he wanted a Joker that had a legitimate reason to be connected to Bruce Wayne. And a lot of times, if you read old comics, Joker's always had a fascination with the Batman. It's kind of like a love story. and we don't really get that in here. We got it a little bit with Jerome, where there's a fixation, but they didn't really have a reason. So making Jeremiah the Joker fixes that. They also wanted a Joker who was
reason?
Jeremiah's.
Yeah,
we saw that all last episode where he was talking to him. He was like, "You're just like me. You switched my brother's face," and then he buries him with his brother. So they have all this history now together. And then on top of that, they said they wanted a more Hannibal Lecter Joker, somebody who was cut from a more chaotic cloth as opposed to the just mad crazy cloth. Somebody who was smart and can make calculated plans and decisions, like blowing people up at the last second. So I think they're going, because he said that those are all the reasons they made the change anyway, I think we're going to get a payoff of that in the season finale.
I think it's awesome that we have an intelligent Joker.
It's interesting.
Instead of like a mad Joker.
I usually like a combination of the two. Mark Hamill's Joker is obviously the best one because he's able to, he has these moments of clear clarity where he's like, this is what we're doing and we're going to get it done. And then he switches into Psycho where you're like, I didn't know that was coming next. I'm very scared right now. I think those are the best Jokers. Have a nice balance of genius and crazy. I will stab you.
Also, none of us think Echo was in that henchman furnace, right?
I would be
wouldn't
shocked.
hate it. I wouldn't hate it.
I love Echo. Why? Why are you against my girl? She's almost Harley Quinn, but she doesn't talk.
I think there's more that we have to see from her, which is why I agree with you. She didn't die, but I wouldn't hate it if she did. Not that I dislike her, but there are just enough players on the board right now. That
I would love if every week Jeremiah had a different Harley Quinn, and they just keep trolling. But I don't believe she was in that bunker. But it's worth bringing up.
She knew it was gonna blow.
Wait, you guys, she wakes up and leaves during the episode.
Remember, she locks Jim in there,
Yeah,
so
she
she
locks
got
Jim
out.
in there.
She
She
obviously
got
knew
out.
that the place was gonna blow.
I'm
She's
talking
not
about
gonna
The
hang out in
second
it.
time
The
when
cold
he
bunker.
kills all of his people.
When what?
When the Joker blows up all the
This
people
episode.
in the bunker? In this
No,
episode.
she was in there. She was in there. She was not there.
There was a blonde. There was a blonde woman who may or may not have been Echo. I don't believe she was Echo.
He wouldn't blow up Echo. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he would.
No, he wouldn't.
She's not Harley Quinn. He wouldn't blow up Harley Quinn. Echo's not
The
Harley
only
Quinn.
thing we know
Echo's
about
Echo.
Jeremiah is that he had problems with Jerome and he has this chick Echo. I feel like it would be weird to blow her up. We don't have any payoff with her.
Yeah,
Why was
that's
she here? Who
only-
is she
yeah.
to him? I have
That's
so
the
many
only person that
questions.
he's been with, and like he's been working with,
Yeah.
and the one that's been helping him. Like she helped him with the plan because she believes in him. So she's probably the only person
I
that
believe the children
she
are
believes.
the future.
Great. So, the conversation's about this to end here, but it will not end totally.
No.
In the meantime, where can people find us on Twitter, starting with Zack Peter?
Hi guys, I'm Zack Peter. You can follow me at Just Plain Zack. Keep sending me your hashtags and tweets because I love them.
Yes. I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique. If you guys are into Black Panther, which you should be, I did a documentary with Nerdist. It should be out later this week. It was super awesome. Come see a bunch of talking heads share their love of Black Panther. Also, if you are in Ontario, California, the week of the 19th and the 20th, that's not this weekend, but the following, I will be doing 2 panels on Star Wars, including a whole thing about General Thrawn, which I'm really excited about. There will be a Darkwing Duck panel, which is going to be bonkers good, and I'll be talking to Jason Aaron about his Eisner-winning comic Scout. So come check it out. Say hey if you're there.
Yes, girl, you got it all. I won't be there, but you can find me on Instagram at I am Karla Beltran and on Twitter at Karla Beltran with an R at the end.
And as always, I'm Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter almost exclusively. That is at Steve Kaufmann, Kaufmann. I run YouTube pages for a lot of wrestling personalities, so if I'm retweeting the link, it's one of the 4 I run. For Zack Peter, Joelle Monique, Karla Beltran, I've been Steve Kaufmann. Thank you, Gothamites, and good night.
Ciao.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.